Now, here's the thing. Do you believe the government will drop COVID rules by the end of this year? You heard the voice of Charles Walker there. We'll talk to Sir Graham Brady on this programme in a few moments as well. Coronavirus laws will remain in place until September after MPs voted overwhelmingly for that extension, despite a Tory rebellion. So it was 484 for, 76 against. That's a majority of 408 in favour of keeping powers in place until the autumn, despite Matt Hancock admitting he cannot rule out trying to renew them again. And this is the area that I've said it consistently. I know Julia talks a lot about this. We absolutely have to keep our focus on this. There's an extraordinary emission on some news sites. I'll come to that in a second. Kicking off the debate in the Commons, the Health Secretary was unable to guarantee that it was the last time MPs would be asked to roll over the powers which are largely unprecedented in peacetime. And I think it's that last set of words that we should really hold on to and just consider: unprecedented in peacetime. Now, we know about the original lockdown. We understand the original lockdown. We know the reasons behind the original lockdown, and I think most of us supported the original lockdown. Here we are, fast forward to 2021. It is March, knocking into April, and it looks as if vaccine program is doing rather well. 9 out of 10 people of the most vulnerable, the most likely to sadly not make it through this virus, have all been vaccinated. Remember the golden words of our political master: once the vaccination is with us, that's when things become a game changer. That is the point when you can look back and say, now we can begin easing the lockdown because we have a vaccine. Now, these powers, and when you give powers such as this, unprecedented powers in peacetime, to a government, we lend them those powers. We lend them the right to make controversial, unprecedented decisions when times are extraordinary, when times are challenging, when there is a pandemic around. We as the electorate will nod that through. We're not comfortable. You shouldn't be comfortable. Nobody should be comfortable with any part of this story. I hope we all get that. We're on the same page. In terms of giving your government powers to close down the country, the economy, your business, your livelihood, at the moment, as we sit here, just picture Matt Hancock for a second. Just think of Matt Hancock. I know he's been a bit of a patsy on this story, but just conjure up the image of Matt Hancock. You know, nobody knew this fella a year ago, but he's the health secretary. Just think of dear old Matt. You think he's probably a guy about 60. He's 42, by the way. That should put the fear of God or satisfaction into some people. Just think of Matt Hancock, okay? That man has the power to close your business. Just think of Matt. So you haven't got an image of a kind of typical totalitarian czar who's somehow in charge, who's picking off where he wants to close, the Caesar-like thumbs up or thumbs down. That man, along with his cohort, the Prime Minister, have the power. They've been given the executive power to close you down and to stop you from going swimming or to the sea. In fact, everything that we look at as being a free society. That should terrify us all. It should terrify us all. I'm having some mischief with this. It should terrify us all, no matter who is in charge. Okay. But just for 1 second, just think about the people making these decisions. And Parliament has given it the big fat green light to carry this on for 6 months. You should be bothered by that. Everybody should be bothered by that. The fact that this did not even make not just the front page of the BBC News website. Did you see this, Charlotte? Because I checked it out as well after we spoke this morning. So I thought, it's not on the... How can something as big as this not be front and centre on the BBC News website? Something we pay hundreds of millions of pounds of taxpayers' money to run. Okay, I know what they've done. Okay, it's not an editorial decision I agree with, but what they've done, they've put it onto the coronavirus part of the website. So I clicked on the corona. They've got a special tab over there at the Beeb. I clicked on that. Nothing. What? A vote this big? No mention on the BBC website. In fact, the stories on the coronavirus tab were all 1 day old or 2 days old. How can you not have the story of a vote to extend unprecedented powers in peacetime? How can that not appear front and centre on the main page of the state-funded BBC News website? I thought I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. It's not on their front page. It's not on the coronavirus tab. I know where it is. It'll be under the politics section. That's what they've done over there at Beeb HQ. They put it in the politics section. Bit clumsy, but we'll let it slide. So off I go to the politics section. Nada, rien. Nothing's there. Absolutely zilch. Not a mention. Not a mention of a seismic, unprecedented vote in the House of Commons to close you down if parliamentarians decide it's the thing to do. This is so big, I cannot find a superlative really to kind of bolt on to this as just how gigantic in law and against the usual democratic processes this is. Now, it may well be for good reasons, and come October they go, you know what, job done, fantastic, all sorted. Those powers are now rescinded. Parliament no longer has the power. The Prime Minister and the cohorts around the table at number 10 can no longer close things down. But as it stands right now, we have been asked to believe that despite the fact that the virus, the vaccination for the virus is going great guns, despite the fact that we have vaccinated the most vulnerable group, the vast, vast majority of the most vulnerable group, the group that is likely to really be affected by this and the group that could die if they get this, have all been vaccinated. Give or take, all been vaccinated. But we still want to retain the powers. Any reason why, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Hancock, why you still want to retain such heady powers? Is it something you're enjoying here? Are you just being guarded? Well, it might be. 6-month extension. And only, well, you heard it there, only 76 voted against. 0344 499 1000. It should frighten the living daylights out of everybody. I mean, look at the year we've just been through. Essentially, MPs yesterday voted to carry that on for another half a year if they want to. That's massive. It's huge. Don't let anybody dilute the severity of that. It's big. For some reason, the BBC decided probably doesn't warrant any coverage, really, not over here at the BBC. We've got other things going on. I think we can talk about other things. Don't need nitty-gritty of votes and COVID laws and stuff. It's just a matter of an unprecedented vote to keep our country closed. It's huge. It is huge. 0344 499 1000. You heard Charles Walker there. We'll talk to Graham Brady. Also, these people voting against this. These are the braver parliamentarians, by the way. These are the ones that are making sense to us right now. Do you believe the government will drop those rules by October? 0344 499 1000. I am bemused, horrified and terrified that this is not the most controversial thing we've discussed in the last few months. And there's been a lot on the agenda. Why is that? Do you believe the government will eventually, as they say they want to? Matt Hancock couldn't guarantee it. So what do you think? We're the electorate. We pay their wages. They work for us, remember.